In August 1991, the residents of the secret cities turned on their televisions and saw something unbelievable. Tanks were in the streets of Moscow. A group of hardline communists had launched a coup against Mikhail Gorbachev. For the scientists and workers of the White Archipelago, the world had just turned upside down. Their entire lives had been defined by service to a single, monolithic superpower. Now that superpower was crumbling before their eyes. This is the story of the day the empire cracked. The collapse of the Soviet Union was a personal catastrophe for the people of the secret cities. They were the elite, the guardians of the state's most sensitive secrets. They lived in a bubble of privilege and purpose, protected by the very system that was now disintegrating. When the Soviet Union officially dissolved in December 1991, the secret cities were suddenly left adrift in a sea of chaos. The economic impact was devastating. The state funding that had sustained the cities for decades disappeared overnight. Hyperinflation wiped out people's savings. The specialized supply chains that had kept the stores stocked with fine foods and luxury goods collapsed. For the first time in their lives, the residents of the secret cities were facing the same poverty and shortages as the rest of the country. But for the scientists, the crisis was also psychological. Their life's work, the bombs, the missiles, the secret research, was suddenly rendered meaningless. They were no longer the heroes of the Soviet Union. They were relics of a bygone era. Many of them hadn't been paid in months. Some were so desperate, they were growing vegetables in the radioactive soil around their institutes just to survive. The chaos led to a breakdown in security. The barbed wire was still there, and the guards were still at the gates. And they hadn't been paid either. There were reports of people smuggling radioactive materials out of the cities to sell on the black market. The world watched in horror as the vast Soviet nuclear arsenal was suddenly left in the hands of a collapsing state. This was the birth of the loose nukes nightmare. Western intelligence agencies were terrified that rogue states or terrorist groups would take advantage of the chaos to acquire nuclear weapons or the knowledge to build them. They feared a brain drain of desperate Soviet scientists who would sell their secrets to the highest bidder. The situation in the secret cities in the early 1990s was a perfect storm of economic despair, psychological crisis, and global security threat. It was a time when the world was closer to a nuclear catastrophe than at any point during the Cold War. But in the middle of this darkness, something incredible happened. The former arch-rivals, the United States and the new Russian Federation, began to work together to secure the Soviet nuclear legacy. It was a high-stakes, unprecedented collaboration that helped prevent a global disaster. How do you keep thousands of unemployed nuclear scientists from selling their secrets to the highest bidder? In our next video, we're looking at the Great Brain Drain and the international effort to contain the nuclear nomads of the former Soviet Union.